I never forget a lot of the African women, when I would talk about their husbands and his rage that he never articulated in their presence, he would start crying. Just like when I talk about the murder of black men, and I ask parents in front of their little boys, have they talked about police brutality to their boys and give creative space for them to engage that phenomena because they actually have witnessed it, and then they started crying. There's a lot of black male fear, terror, and misdirected rage and pain that we're living with that has caused us to have behavior that we're judged for that has never been systemically engaged in ways to resolve it. So when we do all this black girl magic and stuff like that, which I'm down with, I just want some boy magic up in there somewhere, not given by white folks, because white folks is the one making y'all magical. You know, y'all got y'all flying carpets from white folks, because they know that if we keep them competing with each other and give gifts to one of them and not talk about the other, because like you said, Callie, I mean, the mass majority of black men voted for Biden and Obama. That's what I call Obama. They voted for that person because that's what black people do. The same thing black women do. They vote for the Democratic Party. But as you said, which is a systemic part of creating a splinter, is that black men are bad. Black men are bad. And y'all got magic. So we got to, I raise all that because, in my opinion, and I don't want to be on nobody's show, including yours, just running my mouth. We have to look at the layers of phenomena that are perpetually unresolved, generation of generation, that keeps us only having symbolic successes instead of transformational and material successes that make a difference for the people to come. I mean, we were all excited when Stevie Wonder sung at the White House when Obama was there, instead of holding him accountable like white gays and Latinos did. And the white gays and Latinos got fruit out of holding them accountable. Same-sex marriage and blah, blah, blah. But we were busy clapping for Gladys Knight. You know, symbolic stuff, because we don't love ourselves enough to demand something that's actually concrete. And the lack of self-love is based on the myth of our inferiority. When we realize it's a myth, because it's a myth, ain't it, Brandon?
Yes, it is. I just said bingo. You couldn't hear me, but I'm like, that's it. It is a myth. Yeah.
Black people got it going on. You know, we independently got it going on. And I can prove it. I got the receipts. That's not the name of this show, Black Receipts. But I got them, and you all have them. We all represent some of those darn receipts. I mean, Brandon, what he has achieved as a brother, despite what he's gone through, is receipts.
Right.
And it's a few of us. But so we got to, you know, I don't want to just talk. I hate to come off however I'm coming off. But I lived for change. You know what I'm saying? I have strategies and technologies to actually get us out of the anti-black white supremacy trauma trance, so we can so we can be awake toward actual change and be able to decode white supremacist norms that are being mistaken as black cultural dysfunction.
Right.
We got to get out of this, or else we just talking.
Yeah. Functionality is necessary.
No, so, and everything that you have brought up, and you know, is important to the dialogue this evening. And I think one thing that you had said, as far as moving from just these symbolic victories, and that's one reason why I did include in the title about moving from symbolism to power. And I wanted to get your thoughts, because we are going to talk about the trauma trance. We are going to go into that. And before we do that, I just wanted to get your thoughts on this whole moving from symbolism to power. When we saw, you know, what Ice Cube did, people can argue, we can have that discussion all day, but some could consider that a power move of creating a document and saying that this is something for our community and not backing down from it. So I'm sure that many people saw when he went on, I think it's Cocktails with the Queens or something. That's what like Fox and on there. Yes. Yeah. And so I thought it was interesting when he I think it was with Vivica Fox, where he said that he created this document for the Black community. And she said I think I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but she said, well, what about Black women? And he's like, well, aren't Black women a part of the Black community? And she's like, well, we need something specifically for Black women. So I also want to talk about when we are looking to do a power move, especially Black men looking to do a power move, the response that we're seeing. And he got flack not just from that show. Many Black women who are in mainstream media, really not kind of acknowledging the work that he was doing. So I do want to get into the trauma trance, and I think this could be a lead into that conversation. But I also want to talk to you, or for you guys to share with us a little bit about that power move, Black Man Makes a Power Move, and the response that he's getting. Like, I don't know, I was telling Brandon in another conversation, I said, I'm not sure when Black women left the Black community, but it seems like somehow there's this separation of them even being in the community. So if you can talk to that, please.
Well, it's not an issue of Black men having left the Black community. The issue is that and I didn't see the show y'all talking about, so I haven't seen it, but I know about the sentiment. The issue was that Vivica has bought the Kool-Aid of, if a Black man is talking, we should be suspect. If a Black man is talking, we're in danger. We're not being protected. We're not being covered if a Black man is talking. And if she wasn't so busy drinking the Kool-Aid, she would have realized that when we say Black, we're talking about Black everybody. I mean, I remember when there was this ironic push to marginalize Ice Cube as somebody who was bad, in contrast to who I call Obama. Mm-hmm. And Obama got a white husband, literally taking care of white children, and that's her family. And Ice Cube marrying a sister, and got Black children. So his life paints a picture of somebody who cares and loves Black women. But if you can't humanize the Black male image and look at it as being suspect, or something's missing, because I go through this all the time. Brandon can speak for himself. I don't know what he goes through, but I know as a dark-skinned Black man with a relatively low voice who is not a white accommodationist, I'm constantly being abused by Black people for not being, for being too Black.
Right.
All the time. And I remember, and I'll make this short, I promise, I spoke at Hofstra, some school in Long Island, New York. I went there to speak to the Black faculty about using the academic experience of Black students there to make them learn how to be committed and loyal to Black progress, instead of generic academics who are writing journals for social support and academic acumen so they can look good for white folks. But to do what Asians and Jews and everybody else do, and what we used to do, is use this to broaden your toolkit to come on back and be with Black people. And this woman got up and she had on, I'm gonna sound like I'm being stereotyping, but I'm telling the truth. She had on pink, triangle rainbow flag earrings. She had on a lesbian outfit. I mean, that's what I'm just.
She had the uniform on.
Yeah, she had the uniform on, and she was a Black woman. And she got up and she said, "This is interesting what you're saying, and this is nice and everything, but you left out somebody." And I said, "Who?" Now I knew, because I've been alive a few minutes, what she was doing and where she was coming from. I knew what she was doing. I said, "So who did I leave out?" "Well, you left out the LBGTXYZ NOP movement." And I said, "Well, you're Black and I'm Black." Now, one thing that people always assume about me is that I'm a heterosexual Black man. That's what they assume, and they assume I'm one of these heterosexual monsters who gonna come in and do whatever y'all heterosexual monsters do. Anyway. So I said to her, I said, "Well, last I looked, people that look like you are Black. And I'm talking to Black people, and that includes you." She got very defensive. She said, "Well, transgender, this is how they divide us." That's why I'm bringing the story up, because it happened. "Well, just Black transgendered women are being killed every day, and every day there's another murder." And this was like the 200th day of the year. And I said, "Okay, well, let's look at our calculators, and let's look at the stats on so-called transgender women being killed." It was 18 at that time. 600 Black women had been killed, and over 1,000 Black men had been killed. I said, "So, sister, I'm going to respect you because we're all academics in this room, but I think you need to understand that if transgender people are being killed every day, it should be more than 18. So you're involved in this white people promoted it, pretend epidemic, and walking over the epidemic of Black male death, which is way over 18, and Black women's death, who are born women, that's way over 18. You're being caught up. You're inside of an agenda that is not even properly informed to attack me, and you're trying to make me bad because I'm a man. I never left you out.